If money has always felt stressful, if stability has always felt just out of reach, if you've worked hard and still felt behind, that did not start with you. And if you've ever been told you just need to budget better, you should have made better choices. Why didn't you plan ahead? I want you to hear this. You are not broken. Your community is not bad with money, and your struggle is not a personal failure. Welcome to the Underserved economy. This podcast is for people who were never centered in the system, but were still expected to survive inside of it. I'm talking about people of color, immigrants and new Americans, women over 40, people starting over, and people who have been justice involved. This space exists to tell the truth about where economic instability really comes from and how we can heal it. Without shame, without bro and hustle culture, and without pretending history didn't happen. Here's a problem that no one talks about. Economic trauma is inherited, just like stories, just like survival habits, just like fear around safety and scarcity. Many of us grew up watching our parents and grandparents work nonstop and still struggle, lose homes, be denied loans, start businesses with no support, distrust banks, systems, and contracts. And that wasn't paranoia, that was experience. And today we're often carrying the emotional weight of generations while trying to build something new. So before we talk about entrepreneurship, money, or even legacy, we need to discuss how we got here. In the 1910s to 1920s, the early 1900s, Black families were moving, building, and creating businesses. We had thriving communities, doctors, grocers, banks, real wealth. And then those communities were burned down, destroyed, or stripped away. And not by accident, but by violence and policy. The narrative that created, building wealth is dangerous. Success makes you a target. That fear doesn't disappear. It gets passed down. The 1930s, the deal that left us out. During the Great Depression, the government created safety nets, but many Black workers, immigrants, and women were excluded. Domestic workers, farm workers, laborers, there was no Social Security, no protections, no wealth recovery. And the narrative that was created then, the system will help others, but not us. The 1940s to 1950s. After World War II, America built the middle class. Homes, suburbs, business loans, education. But many people of color and immigrants were locked out. Women were not able to legally obtain a loan without a male cosigner. The GI Bill denied many Black people. Redlining kept families from buying homes. This is where generational wealth was created and denied. The narrative that was created then, hard work doesn't guarantee security. The 1960s to 1970s, civil rights laws passed, but economic repair never came. Communities were disinvested, jobs left cities, loans became predatory. People were told, you're free now, but freedom without resources is fragile. The narrative that was created then, survival is on you. The 80s to the 90s, criminalization and mass incarceration expands. Whole neighborhoods were destabilized. Families lost earners. Records blocked opportunity. Payday lenders moved in where the banks pulled out. The narrative that was created then, the system profits from our instability. So from the 2000s to 2010, predatory inclusion. People were finally included, but with bad products. I'm talking about subprime mortgages, student loan debt, high interest credit, and then the crash. The narrative that was created, access without protection, is another trap. So from 2020 until now, the underserved economy has experienced the pandemic. Small businesses have closed and never reopened. Aid didn't reach business owners who could not navigate or understand financial paperwork. Inflation hits hardest when cushions were thin. This is the underserved economy. People doing the most with the least. Again. Do you understand now that it didn't start with you? Trauma can be passed down for 3 to 4 generations. Have you ever had the feeling that something in you existed long before you were alive? Thoughts, patterns, and learned behavior that you can't identify the root of. When your nervous system grows up in instability, your relationship with money becomes about survival and not strategy. This can show up as fear of saving, fear of debt, fear of contracts, fear of visibility, fear of success, or working until burnout. That's not laziness. That's not irresponsibility. That is adaptive behavior. Your body has learned how to keep you alive. But survival mode is not where legacy is built. Here's where the opportunity of entrepreneurship comes in. Not as hustle, not as a grind, not as drip, flashy chains, or labels on display lifestyle, but as liberation. Entrepreneurship allows us to create income that matches our values, build stability without begging institutions. It allows us to reclaim control over our time and labor, to heal our relationship with money, and to rewrite the story for our children and grandchildren. Entrepreneurship is not just economic, it's restorative. And when done with intention, it becomes financial healing work, nervous system repair, legacy creation. Not oversight, not perfectly, but consciously. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I'm starting late, I'm starting over, I've been through too much, I need you to hear me. You are not behind. You are repairing what was never protected. This podcast exists to break principles down simply, to name trauma without shame, to teach money and business with care and relevance, and to help you build something that lasts. Episode by episode, we're going to slow things down. We're going to tell the truth, and we're going to build together. This year, we are 52 weeks to launching the business, making the pivot, or rebuilding a stronger financial foundation for the future of our business. If this resonated with you, subscribe. If it names something you couldn't explain before, share it. And if you're ready to build from a place of healing instead of fear, you are exactly where you need to be. I'm Courtney. Welcome to the Underserved Economy.